Good morning and welcome to the first of what promises to be an eventful 12 months. Let me take this opportunity to wish everybody Afishiapa from the current agenda team. We're back in the saddle and geared up to navigate the twists and turns of politics, social issues, health matters, and economic ups and downs alongside our expert panel. Thank you for staying with us on current agenda. Well, today, to return or not, it may now be only a matter of time. The detention of Ghana's former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, popularly known as AYISI, has abroad. Is now under scrutiny, particularly after AYISI deemed him fit for detention. His arrest reportedly tied to the U.S. immigration issues and not to Ghana's financial loss probe, which is being pursued by the OSP, raises questions on accountability. We heard that Ghana's Washington office or the embassy in Washington sought consular services for him. But Mr. Ofori-Atta says that he would not want that unless his lawyers are present. This raises the looming question: will the former finance minister ever return to Ghana to face domestic legal processes? Meanwhile, said Nantamaklo Ationu, the ex-Maslock CEO, we've been told has also been detained in the US following his sentence in Ghana for causing financial loss to the state, theft, and money laundering. Her case reignites debates on extradition and delayed justice. And then on the political front, the new Patriotic Party is grappling with an identity crisis. Renowned heart surgeon and former minister, Professor KWABENA Frimpong-Boateng, has slammed the party as being fake, sparking internal disciplinary action. Is the MPP stifling dissent, or is it struggling to face the hard truth? Is this accountability, political intolerance, or fear of truth? Well, this is Current Agenda, the Saturday morning companion. As usual, it is sponsored by Bank of Africa. Bank of Africa understands that we all need some financial quick fix every now and then. Whether it is your school fees, replacing that old refrigerator, or fixing the car engine to get back on the road. The Bank of Africa Quick Fix Loan Package was made with you in mind. Seize the opportunity and let your tough times make way for that soft life you've been dreaming about. 2026, you need to enjoy. Flexible terms and straightforward application process. You can call Bank of Africa on 0302 429 333 or 0302 249 690, or chat with Fafa at www.boaghana.info. For more information, contact these contact details I've given so that you can get all you need. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. Now, the NPA, the National Petroleum Authority, says that, do you suspect you didn't get the right amount of fuel now that the fuel prices are dropping? Do you have issues about the quality of fuel you bought? Or did you experience bad customer service at any fuel station? Don't stress. The National Petroleum Authority is here to assist you. Reach out to their call center on 0302 550 380. Or feel free to walk into their head office located at Jowulu on the N1 highway, or any of their regional offices to make a complaint or inquiry. If you believe that you have been hard done, if you experience any of these issues at any of the filling stations, you have up to 48 hours to report it. NPA, where customer care meets excellence. We'll take a quick break. When we return, I'll have my first reflection for the year. We'll be right back.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
So my first reflection for the year, and it's should we call it a crisis? I'm struggling to call it so, but it appears it is. Our transportation system in Ghana, especially our public transport system in Ghana. And that's what I want to speak about this morning. So we all know that transportation is not a luxury, but it's the lifeblood of social and economic activities. In Ghana, this lifeblood is severely congested. For most citizens, mobility relies heavily on the informal public transport, specifically the trotro system. Aging minibuses that are both essential and at the same time exasperating. The trotro is often glamorized as a cultural symbol, but it's a stark reminder of the systemic failure we have in this country. You don't need policy documents to grasp the struggles of everyday Ghanaians. Go on the streets, sit in a car, walk to any lorry station. Just join that queue at Circle, at dawn, or fight for space in Medina during rush hour. Then you would know. You can see on my screen the long queue. This is not an election day queue to vote. This is the queue of Ghanaians on our streets in the morning, trying to get a car to their various places of work or business. More than 70% of Ghanaians depend on informal transport systems, the trotro and even the Okada, which operate largely outside effective regulation, governed by unions rather than state-regulated policies. Now, while these systems persist due to their affordability and accessibility, it comes at a significant cost. A cost of chaos, cost of exploitation, cost of insecurity, cost of indignity. What's changed in recent months? It really is not about inconvenience, but it's about a deliberate abuse. Access to transport has become a tool wielded against commuters. Endless queues, fewer vehicles, and rampant fare manipulation have now become a norm and an order of the day. Imagine a trip from Kwame Nkrumah Circle to Kaswa. On paper, it's about 10 cedis or less. But now, it costs about 20 cedis or more. Why? Because drivers decide to split the routes. You board, gets to Kanishi, it takes the fare, everybody alights, loads to Odoko, takes the fare, everybody alights, loads to Malam Junction, takes the fare, everybody alights, loads to Barrier or SEC Junction, takes the fare, everybody alights, then loads to Kaswa. By the time this car gets to Kaswa, the driver would have charged twice the fare. This is not about market forces. No. This is organized extortion, which has been enabled by the lax in regulation. The uncomfortable truth is that if Ghana had a functional, reliable public transport system, and this is not even talking about state-regulated, but even one with private operators, but regulated by state, would not be able, or they would not be able to hold commuters hostage as they are doing. 2001, about the need to have a metro mass system. True to his word, in 2002, if I'm correct, the Metro, another act. And the responsibility or the mandate was in threefold. Intra-city, which means within the rural urban. 3. And from that time, my checks indicate that the first period, there were about 500 buses. Then later in the Mills Mahama administration, also I understand there were about 500. Then during the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, I think there were about a bit around 200. From 2002 to 2025, almost about 1,300 buses, with some electric buses, about 100 that the then Vice President announced that had been procured. So almost about 1,300 buses. Yesterday, I heard the Metro Mass indicate that we only have about 115 active buses. So within this period, we have been able to bring to halt and to put to sleep almost 1,000 buses. Some turn into scrap, some cannibalize so that the parts are used to repair others. This our culture of poor maintenance seems to rear its head everywhere. But now, Metro Mass now is competing everywhere. And it's not being able to give us the value that we need simply because the people who have been put in charge have failed to live up to expectation. Over the week, I heard the minister and a few other people speaking to how they are managing to put one bus on different routes, and I ask myself, why do we think in this country that the person who in the midst of chaos solves it is a better leader and not the one who is proactive and thinks ahead to prevent the chaos? We seem to celebrate leadership. I'll give a simple analogy. 2 leaders. One who foresees and forecasts the weather and decides not to go on sale. And the other who just goes on sale, is surprised by the high tides, fights them, fights it, overcomes it, and comes to dock. Our society celebrates the second kind of leader, and not the first, who was proactive, predicted, preempted, and made the right decision. And so we are firefighting to solve something that could simply be resolved if we had put in, or we have put in, the right regulation. And so now the State Transport Company Limited, STC, which is intercity, is at the same time competing with Metro Mass, what really should have been the mandate of the Metro Mass. Over the word Metro, as we understand it, is mostly intra. Is this an institutional confusion? Or is it the case that as a state, we have bodies sitting under different arms, and so everybody operates as a silo? Let me chip this in. Why do we not even have a national where all of these bus services or public transport services sits under? And not that some sits under the Ministry of Roads and Transport, some sits under the local government, some sits, why not under one umbrella? So that it is properly regulated, so that it is properly managed, so that there is a right maintenance. So I'm calling on government. Again, we are in a period of reset, as we have been told and as we are seeing. Total City, have MMT solely responsible for intra-city, smaller buses, bigger buses, buses that suits every aspect of the society, traders, middle income earners, have them. We cannot continue to say we are developed people fighting over a digitalized economy when we cannot get the basics right. What is the point in wanting to be able to write or generate AI languages when you queue in the rain for hours to even get a car? These are low-hanging fruits. These are things that we should not be struggling with this number of years after independence. Generations yet to come are looking at us. Where are the regulators? And who is responsible? I'm pausing for a second for us to think. Are we asleep on the wheel? This week, the Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, summoned the GPRTU and other transport unions over. What he says that government himself, and that's the interesting part, government itself has described this in public as an artificial scarcity. And for me, that's even a worry. That government is admitting that because it has left its door ajar, private owners of public transport can decide to artificially cause scarcity in the system. And boldly say this to us. Government Communications Minister Felix Kwasi openly accused operators of being rent-seeking and that they are deliberately limiting vehicle availability just to drive up fares, despite the reduction in fuel prices and spare parts duties. Now, his words were blunt, but at the same time, they were telling that drivers are avoiding designated stations and they are roaming instead of being at one station just because they know they are desperate commuters who are willing to pay more. This behavior, he admits, is unlawful. Yet, it highlights the deeper issue. These practices are not new. But what is new is the fact that today, government has admitted publicly and acknowledged that commuters, the things that we have been crying over and over today, publicly, government has acknowledged. And for that, we even acknowledge and we appreciate government that it's taken us this number of years to hear the cry of commuters. Now, if these acts are unlawful, why have they persisted for years without consequence? Who is responsible for enforcing transport regulations? And why has enforcement only become a topic of discussion now? Transportation in Accra has deteriorated significantly, especially during peak. The situation worsened during the 2025 Yuletide period, and it continues to affect commuters in areas like Medina, in Amasaman, in Kaswa, and other areas, despite repeated assurances that solutions are being implemented. We heard of the Bus Rapid Transport System, BRT. We heard of dedicated lanes. We heard repeated assurances. And we've heard some again. And we are praying that in the next 3-4 years, we will not come back to blame another administration. We will not come back to blame another government of this. Let us know that the commuters are struggling. Acknowledging the hardest sector led, we are not arguing that. But this explanation is increasingly seen as an excuse. Because even if the role of the state and delegating transport regulation to unions makes it very, very difficult. And in fact, it actually shows government shedding its responsibility. And it amplifies our lackadaisical attitude as a state. The crisis facing commuters today is not driven by fuel or spare parts, I don't believe, but rather by policy drift, regulatory paralysis, and a state that only reacts when the public anger becomes unavoidable. Until leadership moves beyond sermons and statements to decisive enforcement and structural reform, the trotro will remain a daily indictment of the governance failure, not a symbol of resilience. This is my reflection. This is how I start the year. And as we say in my local dialect, wonsum, wane, nimpa. I'll be right back after this break.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
How do you unlock the secrets to a harmonious home? How do you strengthen your bonds, nurture your love? Reverend Dr. Nanaya Prempe will amaze you with how she links your romantic relationship to your work productivity, an area where many employers fail to address. Get practical advice on communication, conflict resolution, and parenting. With biblical insight and expert guidance, Reverend Dr. Nanaya Prempe will help you strengthen your marriage and partnerships, nurture your children's emotional and spiritual well-being, build resilience in the face of challenges, and cultivate a culture of love, respect, and forgiveness. Watch The Knot for a dose of hope, healing, and transformation. The Knot, coming soon on GTV, the nation's station.
Current Agenda is brought to you by Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. And National Petroleum Authority, NPA, where customer care meets excellence.
Welcome back, and thank you again for staying with us throughout 2025. We are beginning this year on a very positive and high note, and as I did earlier, I stand with my team to wish our cherished viewers and listeners a happy new year, and we are hopeful that this year will be better than last year. As a state, in terms of our economy, our security, our governance, all our various sectors, we are hopeful that whatever policies government is putting in place will be policies that would bring us closer to the Ghana that we need and the Ghana that we want. So thank you, and please continue to be as participatory as you have always been. You can reach us on our WhatsApp line 053 110 1315 053 110 1315. That's our WhatsApp line. You can send your comments, you can send your well wishes, you can ask your questions. Remember, this is a platform for your voice. So your voice, your power. And this is a communal agenda. And so we would want to hear from you what you believe, what you want to say, so that we'll let the entire country hear. We are live on GTV. We are live on GBC News and also live on Radio Ghana across for the year. To my immediate left, I have George KWADWO AYISI. He's a member of the NPP communications team. Senior, good.
Good morning.
I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
This is your first on my set.
Yes, on your set.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Then next to him is my brother who is a known face, Austin KWABENA BRAKO-POWERS. He's a private legal practitioner. Austin, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, John, I didn't wish you a happy new year, so happy new year.
Oh, happy new year.
Right.
Many happy returns.
Austin, happy new year to you also.
Yeah, many happy returns and happy new year to your viewers.
Right. Then I have to my extreme left, THEOPHILUS, DZIMEGA. DZIMEGA. Okay, the I and the E confused me. DZIMEGA Junior. So that they don't mistake you for senior.
At all.
It's important. Junior, he's also a member of the NDC legal team. Good morning.
Good morning.
And happy new year to you also.
Happy new year to you. Many happy returns and cheers to a new year to your viewers and yourself.
Thank you. And we'll be joining him. So we are starting the year on Current Agenda with Ken Ofori-Atta. We ended with Ken Ofori-Atta. Now, we over the period in the past few weeks, we've heard that he's been detained by ICE, mainly on his visa or immigration-related issues. We've heard tidbits and some information purported to be from his lawyers and also from ICE, indicating that he has overstayed his welcome, technically, in the United States. And so currently he's being detained, or he's at a detention center, considering certain requests that we have been told that he's put in to extend his stay. From some other circles, we have also heard that some considerations are being done by family members to consider the status or the kind of visa he has to make it a bit more permanent. Ghanaians are expectant, but laws are laws. Ghana and US run on their own laws. And so my team here would be discussing, what does this mean? Does this accelerate our extradition request? Does this put us at a point or a place where we are confident that he is closer to home and by extension accountability than he was when we ended last year? By extension, we also look into the Ferdinand Tamaklo, also who also has been detained, and then juxtapose the two to see how this means in terms of accountability as a state. So I'll start with lawyer Theophilus. I'll call you Theo because I'm sure if I keep calling your surname, I'll make a mistake over and over again.
You are able to mention names in the Bible, names in English football, names in, and you can't mention names of people.
Maybe the people in the
you.
Bible are not there to correct me.
No, you can't mention names of people around you. So that's why it's DZIMEGA.
DZIMEGA.
Yes. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Yes.
So, lawyer.
Yes.
From your side, from the NDC side, when you heard the news that Kenneth, had been detained, what was the first reaction from your side, considering that you are the party in government and it's your responsibility to ensure that he is returned to face the accountability claim that we are asking for as a people?
Again, KOJO, good morning to your viewers and wherever they find themselves. And it didn't come as a surprise to, let me use the word, very senior NDC members. And it didn't come as a surprise to a great deal of NDC members. Reason being that we were aware that platforms where the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General are on. And I belong to several groups that they are on, the legal, the communication, the NDC lawyers, etc., etc. So you expect that people will question, will ask questions, and there will be briefing, in-house briefing, sort of. So there had been collaboration between the U.S. government and the Attorney General. Indeed, the Attorney General was briefed on the day he was arrested, and the Attorney General, of course, had to brief the President of all that. So it didn't come as a surprise to us. The bigger question is it just the OSP who wants him back in Ghana, or there are other things that might be lined up? And that I believe that there are other questions that he might have to come and answer. I don't actually know. It will take the heart of a stone-hearted person, even in MPP, to defend why he's not in Ghana. Previously, we were hearing, why are you chasing Ofori-Atta when Ferdinand is there? Now Ferdinand, and indeed, a great deal of us were aware that Ferdinand too has been picked. But we were not the ones to put the information out there. So that is why when you engage them sometimes and they are talking about Ferdinand, etc., you want to be hesitant and a bit controlled in discussing it. Now Ferdinand is out there that Ferdinand too is picked. So wherein lies the idea that you are just chasing Ofori-Atta and not chasing Ferdinand. And if you pay attention, Ferdinand's arrest had been even by request from the previous government. So I won't say it's a 1-1. It's a situation where let's bring everybody back home. Right. People who deserve to account for their stewardship and for what they've done whilst in office, and let them answer questions and we move on. So for me, I wish our Ken's lawyer, I would have advised that, hey, come back home, sit down, handle whatever is being thrown at you. If you feel you are genuinely innocent. So the arrest of Ken didn't come as a surprise to a great deal number of NDC members. However, if you pay attention to social media, you pay attention, you listen to the ground, even non-core political members are relieved that at least he is on his way to come and answer questions in Ghana. So to go on.
When you say his arrest did not come as a surprise, is it the information about his arrest that did not come as a surprise, or the process leading to his arrest did not come as a surprise? Because the two mean different things.
Both did not come as a surprise. Reason being that we are aware there have been movements to get him arrested. We are aware that has been happening. Then when he was arrested, the information was also passed on that he has been picked. So before all those Kevin Taylor posts and all the others came up, we have been aware that he's been arrested. So that to me, again, didn't come as a surprise. And you see, if you pay attention to one of the things the Deputy Attorney General said, he said the visa had been revoked long ago. So he has been in a situation where we call an illegal alien, or as the Americans would say, or a persona non grata. He's not there on any status. So it could be any day you get a knock on the door and you are wondering if it is the ICE who are coming or the U.S. Marshals or somebody coming to pick you. So that has not been one that we are surprised at. Secondly, you also be aware that there will be situations where there was to and fro between the special prosecutor and the Attorney General saying that, hey, we've asked you for this, bring this document for us to initiate the extradition processes. And all those things have gone quiet. We no longer hear of, we didn't give file, we gave file, we didn't give file. So that should tell you that work is being done behind the scenes. So to a great deal of us, it didn't come as a surprise at all.
Okay. And then probably my last follow-up question, then I'll come to the other panel before I come back to you. Again, is it the expectation that once he has been detained, automatically he would be deported?
You see, there's something that we hardly do in this part of the world, I would say, as lawyers, is generally to go to the background of cases, of similar type of cases, judges' background, how they reason, whether they are what the lawyers will call naturalists, positivists, literalists, etc. We don't generally do that. Hire people to go check the background of judges, to inform the lawyer on how to approach the judge, check the background of complainants, plaintiffs, defendants, etc. There are firms out there who specialize in those things. For example, you accuse me of maybe rape or assault. As a result, you are not able to go out. Then they hire people to trace you, to follow you, trail you, take videos of you clubbing, etc. So when you go to court and say, hey, he assaulted me, I can't do this, then they confront you. But today you were drinking, tomorrow you were here, you were out that. And they also look at the background of judges, whether they are positivists, whether they are literalists, whether they are naturalists, whether they are Christian-oriented. They do all those things. We don't do a lot here. Maybe it will come up one day. The reason I'm giving all this background is that look at the data of people detained by ICE. And over 90%, I think I'm even being generous, over 90% of people detained by ICE are deported. So your chances of, I think it's about 99.6 or something, or 0.4, are deported. So your chances of escaping the deportation, having been detained by ICE, I think you have a bigger chance landing on the moon or being hit by an asteroid than remaining in the US. Really? So yes, you go check their data. Yeah, over 90% of all the persons ICE, BI, etc. were also involved. You will notice that much as there are certain public anger and certain bad publicity about FBI arrests, etc., you will notice that before FBI will come in, before FBI will arrest you, a lot of work would have gone behind the scene. And they are almost 99% sure that the arrest will lead to a conviction. So when you put all this in perspective, it becomes very difficult to advise someone that having been detained by ICE, it's likely that you are going to escape deportation. That is why I say if I were his lawyer, I will pay attention to some of these things as details, as data, etc., and say, hey, this is how they have been behaving. Let us cooperate this way. So I don't expect that he will escape deportation. No, I don't.
Okay. Austin, Ken is arrested. The consular service in US offers to support. He says, no, I don't need your support. Even if I'm going to accept, I need only when my lawyers are present. Does this reaffirm his disbelief and confirms the reason why he still doesn't want to come to Ghana? Because even the representation of Ghana in US, he's still not confident enough or trusting them enough to have a one-on-one discussion with them.
Well, I think it's simple. The thing is that this is a government that has declared you persona non grata, a government that is coming after you. In fact, he's been maligned and bastardized in the media, and even in some instances described as a criminal, which I find very disturbing. Because this is someone who is a suspect, who has not been arraigned before any court of competent jurisdiction. Because for any person to be described as a criminal, a court of competent jurisdiction must have the right to have done so. I think he is right not to believe or trust the Ghanaian official because, mind you, the ambassador over there, Honorable
Victor Smith,
His Excellency Victor Emmanuel Smith, is a representative of the president, which is the current government. Right. And this is a government that is saying that we need you here because of ABCD and to which the Attorney General has said so many things about, so many things about Ken Ofori-Atta. I think he's within his right not to trust them. And I think he took the right decision by making sure that he will only grant audience when his lawyers are available. This is a genuine call. But, Kojo, the question we should be asking ourselves, and Ghanaians, I expect Ghanaians to be asking, is that does the detention of Ken have anything to do with the investigative report or investigations conducted in this country regarding some transactions he is said to have participated in?
In other words, you're asking whether this has anything to do with the OSP's investigation, the request for extradition.
Exactly.
Are they in any way
exactly. Can anybody tell us that the arrest has anything to do with the extradition process? No, it has not.
The NDC legal team says that they've been actively aware and part of the process. But you are saying that
it has nothing to do with that. I think we need to set the record straight. When was the extradition process sent? It was even sent to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on 10th December. The Attorney General confirmed it. That he sent the extradition processes to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which has to be forwarded to the embassy in Ghana, in US. Yes. Then forwarding to the US officials. So look at the timeline, and you were right to bring in the bit about Sedina Atienu. When was the extradition process transmitted?
24.
24. We are now seeing evidence of what? The fruit. And even this is just the beginning. And I have said it, time with that number, that the extradition process is not a given and it's not a one-off process. It's not something that can be done overnight. She has been arrested since 2024.
She was convicted.
No, she has been arrested now. I'm saying since 2024. The document was sent since 2024. Now she's been arrested. How many years? Almost nearly 2 years.
Yes.
And you think it will be a given? And before she's even extradited to this country, she will have a day in court. And that I have said that the extradition process in the US is not as simple as the one we have in this country. Ours is very simplistic. Ours, you can just bring the person before a court, and if you don't have a strong legal team, you'll be detention of Ken has nothing to do with the extradition process. And let it not be created. Ghanaians should not be confused. There's no need for us to be double-minded. He has nothing to do with the extradition process, because the extradition process has not even begun. And claims by the Attorney General element within the government. And I've said, Kojo, this whole thing started as, it started in a form of distortion. So if Ken's legal team had not clarified that his arrest had nothing to do with the extradition process and rather has had to do with immigration issues, this government would have been benefiting from this distortion. Kojo, it must be pointed out that the US government in 2025 revoked visas of over 100,000 immigrants. Ken is one of them. Why would you sit here and say that he has something to do with the extradition process? Which has not even, there's no confirmation that the US legal authorities or the Attorney General office has received any of such processes. There's no evidence. So when the Attorney General is on air, and I heard the Attorney General say the Attorney General and the Deputy say that, oh, the Ken's visa was revoked and they have insider information. It has nothing to do with the extradition process. Ghanaians must take this message. It has nothing to do with it. This has more to do with immigration processes. Because, you know, as part of a border policy, the US government's border policy to keep America safe, they decided to revoke a number of visas of immigrants, over 100,000. And Ken happens to be one of them. So we must be able to situate the conversation. And my fear is that some people who heard this information in the beginning may feel that, no, the government is working to extradite. The government has taken...
But is it really about who wins the argument? Is it really about who gets the credit for what? Should it not be about the fact that here is a man who was saying that I cannot come to my home country to be detained because I am fighting a medical whatever. But that same man is being detained by another country when he's still fighting that medical. Should that not be the thought of the discussion rather than who wins the argument?
Well, if you followed this immigration issue in America, they don't mind whether you are deformed, you have health complications. They will arrest you and detain you. In fact, there are incidents of immigrants dying in some of their detention camps or facilities. Do you understand? So it has nothing to do whether Ken was sick or not. What I'm trying to point out that in governance, you must be transparent. And sometimes, you know, sipping some of these conversations to score cheap political goals will not help the matters. The conversation is that you need, Ken, your extradition process has just detention has something to do with the extradition process, and that you are well aware. When when there is clear, palpable evidence that Ken's visa was revoked as part of a broader immigration policy of the US government, it has nothing to do with it. So I just don't understand when government spokespersons begin to speak as if it is what they initiated, which is very informed. And I've pointed out that, Kojo, the thing is that we must be measured in our approach and in our conversation. Ken is a suspect. He's not a criminal. But the way we are bastardizing him in the media, we've already drawn conclusions. Why would he trust you? In fact, that's why he didn't even grant audience to the ambassador in the US, Ghana's ambassador in the US. Why? You shouldn't trust him, and he's right. If I was in his shoes, I wouldn't trust him. Why would I trust him? This is someone whose government has maligned you, bastardized you, described you as a criminal. And now he's becoming an angel. He wants an audience with you, saying that I want to help you.
Let's correct this. Sorry, I will have to interrupt. The ambassador was not the one to meet Ken. Consular services are provided by consular staff, not the ambassador. Let's put that correctly.
Technically, consular services are services rendered by the consular department
in the embassy, not the ambassador. Let's correct that. As you are saying, let's be measured. Let's do the education properly.
As for the consular services, it's headed by who? The ambassador. The whole embassy is headed by what?
The head of the mission.
Which is the ambassador. Exactly. So that is the head. The consular services, they are there. They are the tech conversation. He has nothing to do with the clarification.
No, hold on.
No. Don't. He has nothing to do with the conversation.
Hold on.
The thing is that, please.
Austin, hold on. So,
if you have anything, you will note it.
Council, hold on. I think all of us are saying the same thing. All we are saying is that there's an embassy. The embassy has a head, who is the head, technically the political head of the mission. Inside that embassy, there are different departments and different administrative bodies. One of such bodies is the consular section or department. They have a responsibility of doing some of these international protocol activities. Again, it does not defeat the fact that they cannot act without the sanctioning or the signing by the head of the mission. The head of the mission is a representation of the government or the president in there. So the embassy there is the seat of government of Ghana in the United States. When the ambassador speaks, it's same as the president has spoken, which means the consular can also not go out to go and do something which does not have the blessing of the ambassador. So I think we're all saying the same thing. So no need to split heads on this.
I think if you like.
So please go on.
No, like I said, the thing is that he's Victor Smith is a head of missions. And whatever is done by any team member is sanctioned by him.
So I think I've established that one.
So I'm saying that, Kojo, some of these conversations, they are needless. Do you know why? You've sent the extradition document. Anything concerning Ken, why do you want to blow them out of proportion? There are serious conversations that must be had in this country. One of them, the promised 24-hour job. Promised 24-hour economy. These are serious conversations. The 133, what happens? One job, 3 shifts, 3 people. What happened to that? These are conversations we should be having. Do you understand? But anything about Ken, then this government and their communicators will blow them out of proportion as if they are making rules. They've not made any rules. And I'm saying that if it took nearly 2 years for Sedina to be arrested over the extradition process sent by the previous government, just imagine what will take. And I think this government is counting on the fact that if the USIC detains you, then the probability of you being sent to your country is high. It's not in all instances. There are instances where if you have multiple or different visas, you tell them that I want to go to this country. I don't want to go to this country. So it's not possible. It's not a given.
The Attorney General has indicated that Ken has multiple visas.
Exactly.
He has
other
visas in the UK and the rest.
So he has an option. So it is not a given that Ken will come to this country. So they are counting on it, and they are hoping that at least the U.S. government will do them a favor. And I've said that the U.S. government does not operate like the way our system we operate over here. We operate more. Our decisions are more politically motivated. Our decisions in this country are politically motivated than the U.S. government. They look at matters of human rights and to make sure that in order not to, in fact, jeopardize their international image, they will stick to, they will ensure that whatever they do is in conformity with international legal practice and not what we do over here.
Thank you. Viewers, we've been joined by Bernard MORNAH, as I announced in the beginning. He's the leader of PNC. Senior, good morning.
Morning.
We've not spoken and met this year, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
I hope all is well.
And to my diabolic friend who just sipped water. to Professor and lawyer. The two of them, Happy New Year to you. Right. I was listening to the conversations while coming, particularly your bite on the transport sector. I couldn't agree with you any less. I think that was right on the head. And so, like the last panelist indicated, I would have wished that this morning we'll be discussing the peculiar transport situation that we find ourselves. I would have wished that we were discussing the arrest or detention of Bobby Wine and his mother within the continent, and many other things. Unfortunately, you chose your topics, and I cannot do but to discuss what you have. Right. Otherwise, there are many issues, in my opinion, that we could have taken in order that we are able to leap our nation to the next level. But
it.
you chose that we should deal with extradition or non-extradition. So I'm here.
Right, thank you. And definitely would before we sign out, we'll speak on the transport issue, because it's an issue. So we'll dedicate the last part of the program to discuss it to we close, because it's strong and it's key for me. George, so Ken undoubtedly is a member of your party.
Yes. And
a strong member of your party.
Senior member.
He held the purse of this country for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Finally, we've heard from what the sitting government is saying, that he's close to coming home to face accountability. As a party, even though you have said that you are not against it, when you heard the news of the detention of such a prestigious member of your party, what was your reaction?
Yeah, thank you, Kojo. Good morning to you. Good morning to our co-panelists. Good morning to our viewers and your production crew. When I heard it, I was worried, particularly because the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta is a Yale-trained person. He schooled in the United States, and then he's had the privilege of working there for some time, and then decided to come home and establish data bank and whatever followed thereafter. He's a very distinguished citizen of Ghana and an internationally recognized individual. And so I thought when he took permission that he was going for medical treatment in the United States, and same was granted. He was going to have the peace of mind to be able to have his medical processes duly gone through, and then he'll be able to come back home as and when it's appropriate. Then, unfortunately, Attorney General's position too on his alleged offenses or conduct, criminal conduct in office. And so that was to get him back through the processes of the OSP and his extradition request to the United States. That has been a tango back and forth, and then we got the news that ICE is picked him up on immigration matters. As lawyer Powers said earlier, it's the general policy of the Trump administration, going after illegal immigrants. And, his promise to the United States was to get jobs for the citizens of America. And so if immigrants... American for Americans, that is a policy that he's championing seriously. And so anything that would distract from that, he's not going to, take it easy. And part of that is this immigration matters. He's tangled with the Mexicans and the Mexico border and all that. So, as lawyer said again, it's unfortunately captured Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta in this revocation of visa thing. We all know that Ken has made the argument, and his lawyers have made same, that he's there on medical grounds. And we know that in the process of his term as Minister of Finance, he had to take leave and go for operation. I stand to be corrected. I think kidney. So, and when he got back, we all saw that all wasn't too well with our finance minister. Unless you were not a citizen, you saw that he had challenges. Fortunately, he's gone through, and then he's where he is. But like it or not, once there are charges against you, okay, I and the MPP party is the opposition. Former president has said that he's not made any request to any government of President Mahama to temper justice with mercy. No. He believes that the due process must be followed, and that's the position of the MPP party. We believe due process. To be honest with you, some of us, I felt a bit embarrassed when the tango was going on, that the finance minister is not willing to come. And then, but on the other hand, I felt, okay, if I were his lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, you're a lawyer. If I were his lawyer, I would be a bit skeptical in advising him to come back, especially looking at how Wontumi was being treated. You get it? I told some friends that, look, I'm afraid that if we make the mistake and he rushes and comes down, if we don't take time, if we touch wood, he may die in detention.
Yeah.
He may die in detention because of his health situation and the way he will be handled. Go to, when he's taken to the Nadmo opposite the BNI place, and he goes to Blue Gate, back and forth. My brother, it will aggravate his health situation. So I would rather he stays and then his lawyers get, that engagement.
Is the assumption that how he'll be
but
handled in detention in the US is...
It's different, entirely different. It's different. Could you ask anybody? It's different from how he'll be handled.
That was my follow-up question. I was going to ask you, how do you know? From movies.
No, not movies, but we know people. We deal with clients who have been detained before.
Well, especially
they share their experience with us.
civil matters. Okay, these visa issues are civil matters. Okay, but what the OSP and the Attorney General are pushing are criminal matters. Okay, these extradition matters and co are completely different. You get it? And I stand to also not agree. A lawyer DZIMEGA may disagree with me because I stand to be corrected. If I heard right, the Attorney General saying this one was not his doing, but I've heard a lawyer also say he said they were involved.
So you're saying that they were aware of the situation, so they don't
it's not their processes. You get it? It's not his process. So that must be put on record, that it is entirely different from, and lawyers have argued, international and immigration lawyers have argued, that the extradition matters are completely different from these visa immigration matters and co. And two, it is possible, maybe, you lawyer said something, and I thought it would be very serious if indeed those things were not being done by our lawyers here. Background checks of judges and lawyers and criminals, and I'll be surprised.
He said it's not a common practice.
Good, okay, then that is good. Because it should be part, any serious lawyer who wants to win a case must know the principles and ideologies of a judge that he's going to face. You must know some of his likes and dislikes and co. Before you appear, there are some, if you start talking and you are the type that talks too much, they will cut you and frustrate you. You do. They do. You get it? So background checks of judges and even prosecutors and co, you must know something so that it can inform your line of argument and preparation. Okay, go in there. And so let's see how it goes.
To be fair and to put it in perspective, the question I asked him that made him say what he said was that is it their assumption that because you have been detained, automatically you'll be deported? And he explained that while you go through a certain court process, and depending on the philosophy or the principle or the philosophy or the ideology of the judge, it can or it cannot. However,
99.9% or whatever. So there's a 0.01% of success rate of it. Yes, which could be Ken's issue, because that's why I also started with the background of being a Yale-trained person, lived in the United States, doesn't have any criminal records there until what we are then bringing for his be. If the government and the Ghana embassy in the United States decides to be present at the hearing, and then for whatever reason, still not being. So but having said that, I think there's a high possibility that he can be, exonerated based purely on his medical arguments that his lawyers will make. I know he has some of very good, brilliant lawyers who are in for him. So let's see how it goes. And let's also put on record, I agree with Lawyer Powers, that the extradition matter should be completely distinguished from the deportation issues, which has to do with civil procedures and others. So that is what it should be. Last one, Lawyer DZIMEGA gave the impression, which impression I believe most of our viewers will buy into, that because he's on a lot of platforms, okay, with the AG and the deputy and the legal brains of the NDC. Of course, he's a member of the NDC legal team and they are in government. With what is happening now, Lawyer Powers disagrees, okay, and so I think I want to go by that because he made a point that for almost 24 months now, Sedinam Tamaklo's issue is now gaining currency and steps have been taken. You get it? And so it is not, anyway, the argument can also be made, Lawyer, that the weights put on both. One is the former finance minister, and the exigencies of the extradition hearings may be completely different from Sedinam's matter. You get it? And so then American government can say, okay, because his actions based on the accusations put before the U.S. Justice Department or the other wings, they will say, no, let's hear this matter first. And then if there's the need to extradite him to go and account for his stewardship in his country, that can make the matter be fast-tracked. Right. So you get
I mean,
so,
we'll come back to the
Let's quickly mention my name on two things. What I said is that the AG indicated that he was briefed when he was picked.
Which I clarified.
Yes, that is it. So that will not give. Yes, that will not give any impression to anybody that it was the AG's effort. That was why he was picked. Granted, even that the extradition request was sent 10th December or whatever date it was sent. Granted that you see, the Americans are not just working. We don't see. So granted that all this is aware that is over there that Ken is wanted. And there are efforts, collaboration between them. Definitely, the truth of the matter is, whether it's by extradition, by ICE, or whatever, the end result we are all looking for is for Ken to be in Ghana. Simplicity.
Okay, so let me...
It talked about the probability that the detention of Ken may have something to do with, or maybe to extradite the process, expedite the process. The thing is that the ICE website, when they detain you, they profile you and they will capture whatever the reason for which you were arrested, and they stated it on their website. So obviously, it will.
My inference was to the extradition.
Yes, he has nothing to do with it.
Yes, I said that the weight and expeditious handling of the matter will not be as said in Tamaklos. That was the point I was.
Lastly, the MP. Before I go to Bernard.
I thought I was wrapping up.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Then please do. In just a minute, so do for me.
So we wish this process goes through the legal, Ken will have his day, and then his lawyers will make a case for him. If he succeeds to continue having his medical, fine. If, on the other hand, as his lawyer said, he has multiple visas. If he decides he prefers to go to Rwanda or he'll go to wherever, he may make that choice because of the medical facilities there, alternative to the Mayo Clinic in the United States. You get it, and if he's comfortable with that, but ultimately, my wish as an individual is that as a former finance minister, you definitely must be accountable to the system. Once you've served in that capacity, make time, come back home, and then... So I believe that some of these allegations are frivolous. I believe so. You get it. In fact, I've had the privilege of being briefed when we're in government on these SML things and the benefits therefrom. And then the Suba Info Solutions work for Kelny, GVG, and those things. The benefits the nation derived from that. Okay? And so when the argument is made, some make the argument that it's the process that is fraught with problems. Okay? But the work done by these institutions were beneficial to the state. It's something that we can argue over for another time. But for now, I think he should come and face these things. And he is likely to go home free.
You had to throw that one in there. So, lawyer, on.
Hey, Chama is there.
Oh, Chairman, I'll go to Chairman. Chairman knows why I'm coming to him after.
Lawyer is not going. Don't leave you. Don't let lawyer go.
So
I should go after
lawyer.
this. Yes.
So now, Powers made a very critical point that the final destination, if he's supposed to be deported, doesn't necessarily mean it has to be Ghana. Now, can the case that we have submitted a packet become a reason why, if in case they have to deport him, it would automatically have to be Ghana?
No, not necessarily. For example, I mean, I'm a US resident. I'm a UK resident. If I'm going to UK now, usually how I do it is I pass through one and go to the other. If I get to London and you say you don't want me to enter, I say I'm carrying my US thing. Allow me, let me continue to my US. It won't be. But you see, there was a narrative somewhere that Ken was traveling between US and Europe. Then when he was put on a red alert, he stopped traveling to Europe. There will be good reasons why we would have stopped traveling to Europe. Sometimes the treaty agreement with certain countries, as he was saying, look, the Ghanaian extradition, whether how good your lawyers are, is generally stuck against whoever is sent to our court here for extradition. The judge is not to look at the merits of the case. The judge is only to look at whether the extradition conforms with our extradition, the request conforms with our extradition treaty, and you are gone. So the extradition treaties with certain countries might be more stringent than the US. There are certain countries who theirs might mirror ours, or we have mirrored theirs, that when you are there, the moment the request is made, you are sent back to Ghana. So he will have to weigh all that. But the long and short of all this is that, my brother, why go there all the lungu ways when, if you are clean? For example, as my brother has said, Edubu Yukra will go home free. Okay? And if we are so sure something like that might happen, Ken too might go home one day.
But the case is made is that he might go
he might, yes.
But
So
within the process of waiting till the might,
till the might,
how he's treated, he might rather go to a different home
than
the home we expect him to go.
Let's be honest here. I mean, you don't expect Ken will be treated like a common criminal. No, Untumi's own. How was Untumi treated that you're talking about? Untumi was given bail and he couldn't meet the bail conditions. That's all. What I mean?
What were the bail conditions?
No, I mean, if you like, let's go back to that argument has been. Let's go back.
The mother of Jesus as
Oh no. Ken is already supposed to. He has been charged. He's been charged. So if anything, he's going to appear before a court of competent jurisdiction that they can make the argument for bail. Even the national service guy who was given over 600 or 800. It was reviewed and the jurisdiction. And indeed, if you read section Act 30, the role that the police, the IOCO all play about giving bail is captured there as if it's one from the court of competent jurisdiction. That is why if you don't like it, you go back to court and ask for that. I don't think, look, we have Dufour, we have Atuforsen, even some of the guys currently undergoing investigation. Our former Minister for Education, the vice presidential candidate, even indicated that he has been to IOCO or others several times, OSP several times, and NAPO, and he's back home. So we don't expect that Ken will be treated like a common street criminal. That will not happen. I mean, you will say all are equal before the law. But among equals, there are equals.
Should we take this to mean this is an assurance given on the various WhatsApp platforms that you say you are on?
No. I won't say it's an assurance given. But look, we have had situations here where the deputy AG said he has even visited so-called political detainees to find out, are you being treated well, etc. That should be a precedent for us to see that when he comes in and he's arrested, some of these things will play. So I don't see it as a big issue. But back to your thing. Now, you see, it will be riskier. You leave the USA for another country. And I'm sure they will do all, assuming they will do all that before you go there. What if conditions there change? Remember, even when this guy sought asylum in a Colombian embassy for almost 3, 4, 5 years there, Assange. You see, somewhere along the line, the Colombians also said, okay, it's okay. You can leave our embassy now, and things begin to change. So the risk in moving from one place to the other is also there. You don't know what they will also do tomorrow. So for me, I believe that if it is a situation where he is to be deported, well, I mean, there's no place better than home. Choose to come. And you might face your day in court and you deliver. That's all.
Thank you.
And on this now, I want to seek, as I told you earlier, I have an emergency somewhere I need to be by 7:30. Okay. So let me say thank you to your viewers.
To my viewers, lawyer would have to take leave of us, but he's promised to be back. Lawyer.
Yes, I'm a fan of this program. You know, even days that you have not invited me, I came here to see if I can join the panelists. Yes. So yes, I'm a fan of your program.
Thank you very much.
It's my second time of meeting.
Yes, yes.
Right.
So yeah,
right. So lawyer, give us a minute. I'll signal you. But senior comrade, we hear Ken declined consular services. What does this decline, or should we call it declination, what does it mean to us? As I ask Powers, does it confirm the fact that he still does not trust the system?
Well, I'm assuming that you are not a thief. I hope you heard me.
Yes.
I said I'm assuming that you are not a thief. Because I'm assuming that you are not a thief, when they start shouting thief, 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 there will not be any reason for which you should be running. Right? And so we should assume that Ken has not committed any of the alleged crimes. Why is he running away? Why is he running away from the allegations against him? If indeed he is innocent of what is before him, this country has moved far, 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 far beyond the days of being brought and then all of a sudden a military leader will dictate that you should be killed. No president has that orders to do so. The law will still have to work. And so therefore, if I've committed no crime and I've been called to come and account for my stewardship, it is his refusal to come that is fueling belief that, after all, there is no smoke without fire. And that is the problem. There are many others Ken worked with that are here. They've not gone anywhere. And they are not under such kind of harassment. Kweku Kwatin worked with Ken. He's here. Sticker, Stephen Amwa, worked with Ken. He's here. Abena worked with Ken. She is here.
Visibly here.
They are here. You can see them physically. They go around, do their work. They come to your shows. No one is chasing them anyhow. President Akufo-Addo is here. Vice President is here. Matthew Poku Prempeh is here. And I know on record that when John Mahama left power in 2016, Julius Debra, who was Chief of Staff, I can tell you that he has gone to Iyoko, I cannot count the number of times. Come and account for this. How did this come about? He was almost every week at Iyoko. He has to sometimes seek their permission to travel or to go somewhere. But possibly because he was innocent of the allegations, he stayed. This is Ghana. This is Ghana. You see, I think that what is fueling all these noise in the system has to do with the fact that this is a minister for finance whose actions whilst in government, even members of his own political party said, we cannot continue to justify. MPs rose up and went to the president and said, Mr. President, it's time to tell the man to go. Because even us as MPs, we have been misled to believe in some things, only for us to realize that no, we cannot go on that tangent if we want to actually maintain power. On how many occasions has President Akufo-Addo not come out himself to say that he has been misled? Was it not Ken's assurance that will not go to IMF today, will not go to IMF tomorrow? Was it not Ken who insisted that the passage of electronic transfer levy will be a panacea to any economic nightmare that this nation is having? What has happened to that assurance that KOJO Nkrumah will now have to come and speak on behalf of the president, that the president has directed that we should go to the IMF? Was it not Ken who made President Akufo-Addo to come and say that there will not be haircuts? And when the haircut started, I realized you didn't have some. Many people suffered. The pensioner bonds, we saw what happened. Is it not one of the regrets that President Akufo-Addo has openly said that that is one of his major regrets in government? Who was at the head of advising the president on economic matters in this country? So even when President Akufo-Addo has come out in the open to lament some decisions, including the DDEP and pensioner bond holders, there should be reason for which Ken should come and answer why some of these things were taken. Why certain transfers and payments were made. There could be justification for some of the things that no one can explain but him. Now, Ken left this country on the 6th of January. And when Ken left, we were told he was going for medical treatment. Then Ken comes. He didn't come, actually. Then when they started going after him, today the lawyers will write this, tomorrow the lawyers will write this. At the end, even the wife had to come and speak to us. How successful the husband has gone into operation and everything is done. And she was lamenting and lampooning Ghanaians. Everyone who is innocent of any allegation would rather want the opportunity to vindicate yourself. How come that in the case of Ken, there's no rush for him to come and say, I did not do it? Remember Chachuchi Kata. When he was taken through the issue of causing financial loss to the state, the rapidity with which he was convicted to serve a sentence. And eventually, when President Kufuor was leaving office, you know what President Kufuor did? To grant him pardon. The man said, no, I don't need that pardon, thank you. But I will pursue the matter till I am declared innocent of what you are accusing me of.
He came out anyway.
No, he came out. But he still pursued the matter in the courts so that the courts can clear his name, that he did no wrong.
But he was doing this on the hospital bed, so he was out of the cage. But I understand, I get your principle.
No, he pursued the matter.
Yes.
So, initially, reason why Ken did not want to or would not come to Ghana was that he was sick. The reason why he could not come is that possibly the attention he was getting in that particular hospital, he could not get it here, which I doubt. Yes, I doubt. Because when COVID-19 happened, everybody got the attention that you deserve in this country.
But it may not have been the same sicknesses they were dealing with.
COVID was probably the most deadly that anyone could dread to have. And yet we were treated here. Every patient was treated at your location. Nobody, no country will even receive you. So we treated ourselves in many hospitals in this country. from the Bank Hospital to the UGMC to Greater Accra Regional Hospital to the almighty Kolebu Hospital. We treated ourselves. So, but I can still grant that, look, there possibly was a special need, which possibly would cost cheaper there than here. Because I remember when President Kufuor wanted to do his surgery. And then the doctors were recommending that he should go out and do the surgery. You remember his response. He asked the doctors. Then they said the equipment too little. Said that other people going through his condition can be operated. Statesmanship. Right? So if the equipment of any sort is in a position to be able to procure one, so that whilst he's treated here, that equipment could also be passed on, just as President Kufuor did, so that it will now be available for the doctors to do. Other people that may not have the financial wherewithal to be able to go out there. Now, failing to, now that he's well and he's not coming, do we still blame it on health? Now, we are even told that this same figure has applied to our permanent residents in the United States.
We are told that his son has applied for him. So it's good we put it in that context.
Who will be the beneficiary?
The end result is the same.
Who will be the beneficiary?
So it's the correction of the route I am indicating.
Who is the beneficiary of the action to be taken?
He's a possible beneficiary.
And you think that Ken is a novice, he is underage, he is not of age of maturity, or he is becoming senile. What are you suggesting? He is right in his conscience to tell son that, look, I gave birth to you, I don't want to stay in the United States, I've worked in Ghana. Hafiz will say, we are like fishes, we don't run away from the water.
There are various reasons why a person can.
I'm saying that
file for.
You have worked in this country, right? You even own your own private institutions, some of which you gave COVID-19 monies to willingly without any receipt or any evidence of payment. Oh, enterprise. Why are you squeezing your face? Why are you squeezing your face? Relax, brother. Yeah, okay now. So clearly, there is something amiss. Now, fast forward so that others can come in. But the NDC cannot have two representatives. This one come and talk more, then another one come. It's not acceptable.
Substitution.
No, we will not do that.
Now that you have said it, I have to introduce him.
I was expecting you to do that at the time I came. You were not doing that. No. Anytime I saw that they were cutting me and then they were discussing me while I was in the studio. No. So that's the impression was given that I didn't come early. So I want people to know that. So now one is gone. You want them to know that he has come. Okay. So now that you have mentioned, let me just introduce our. So viewers, we've been joined or we've been replaced by my brother Raymond Edem Tamaklo. He's a government spokesperson, so he's replacing lawyer Theophilus on the panel. Yes. Now he's not here to tell me. So point is simple. Ken, you are good, such that you can be detained in the US. I have my own suspicions of all these things because the man has applied. And what we have read about this particular process of ICE invitations or detention is that if your visa has expired and you are picked up, and possibly, or there is a reason for which you have applied, and then before the applications can be vetted or approved or rejected, they realize that your visa period, they pick you, so that you don't mingle with the society. Yes. Then they will wait for the processes to be concluded. And the outcome of the processes will determine whether you will still be qualified to stay.
So that is spot on.
You understand?
Yes.
So clearly, it is not a case that Ken was arrested because Ghana government wants him in Ghana. It is not that case.
Well, DZIMEGA should have been here to hear what's
It's not that case.
We want to pass it on.
And I have said time without number. No, you are on the radio, so he can tune on to you. Just as I was doing when I was coming here. You understand? So my view is that Ken has sufficient investment in the United States of America. That is generating jobs for the American economy, providing their young people with incomes. And if what I heard from my two colleagues is that Donald Trump said that he is going to protect the American people, ensure that they get jobs and what have you, you think that that same Donald Trump will want to take somebody who has investment in his country and give it to you so that the investment will collapse and his people will not have jobs? You think so? So where I sit, if we have to go with the logic of Donald Trump's thinking, trust me, Ken is not coming. Because releasing Ken will mean the investments will also go down. The American youth that Ken's investment of money were providing income for, that is making Donald Trump to look good, that is creating a sound economy, it will not happen. So I don't want anybody, if Ken comes, I will be the most delighted. Because even me, if the government is not taking him on, I have some questions that I want the court to find out for it with us. Or what do we call it? Jack, where are you? Then you go and answer here. I am here. They'll close your eyes. Then you say, Jack, where are you? Then the person will jump to another side and say, I am here. Meanwhile, you are blindfolded. So we have been blindfolded, and we are doing Jack, where are you? And then they who can see will now see our location, run to our back and respond, I am here. That is my worry.
Right. Thank you. In fact, where you ended actually was what was going to lead to my question to Powers. We've been made to understand from our intelligence that, as Bernard said, because there was a request for extension of stay, and which was being considered by the Homeland Security by an extension by the immigration.
Yes.
It was not prudent to leave the person to live without a proper visa. And so the detention was to hold whilst we listen to the merits for that case. So that was it. Now, we also know that America strives for a lot of investment, because the belief is that once these investments come in, it creates more jobs, and then, like George also said, gives that dream or that global identity of America for Americans. Exactly. And so agreeing that, Ken, go, make an investment in the US, and tomorrow my country decides to chase me, they would give me up. Does this not even make it more difficult for the deportation that before lawyer DZIMEGA left indicated that it's 99.7% possible?
Well, I think you've really hit the nail on the head, and I think we are not under any confusion that the immigration has several factors, and one of them the economic benefits. Looking at what the immigrant is bringing, which will benefit the larger population. And as it is well known, Ken has a string of investments in the US, which is benefiting Americans. And I'm not sure Ken, in our own mind, will be an ordinary immigrant in America. Yeah. Looking at the substantial contribution he is bringing to the economy. In fact, Donald Trump is a transactional president. There is someone who travels only when that trip will benefit America. He doesn't do things just for doing sake. Whatever he does, there's a thinking behind it. He thinks.
Picking a sitting president from his country. And
there's a real-time thinking behind it. Transactional. What is the benefit? And it fits into the larger policy, make America great. Yes. So economic powerhouse, making America an economic power. So that's what I'm saying, that we will only be, fanning ourselves and be laughing if we think that just by detaining Ken, we are going to expedite the extradition process. And KOJO, as we have said, and Bernard has well hinted, this detention has nothing to do with. And my worry is the way it is being twisted to seem or appear as though he has something to do with that. And I have monitored the communication by, or let me say, public commentaries by the Attorney General and the Deputy. And the way they speak, as if there's a mystery, and the mystery may be because they are trying to pull some strings. He has nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with any string they may have pulled. If in case they have even pulled any string, that string has not been activated. Because the detention of Ken has completely nothing to do with the extradition process. It has more to do with the immigration status of Ken and that of other over 100,000 immigrants whose visas are intimated in 2025, where their visas were revoked. So, and the transport sector that you talked about is one of them. This fixation on Ken coming and Ken is this, and I'm saying that, see, and Bernard was saying that Ken should come. I have no issues. I think accountability is good, and Ken should be bold to come and face accountability. But it is not for accountability purposes, but the way and manner it is being conducted. These are things you must also look at. How are suspects handled? How do we handle suspects in this country? It's been a major problem. You are arrested as a suspect, and they impose heavy and harsher in the Rambos, and they impose heavy and harsher bail conditions.
They've not done that to Napo, and I'm not sure they will do that to Ken.
It depends on the issues. The thing is that, and Bernard, I'm sure you are well aware that the issue surrounding the Napo has not been a public conversation.
Yeah.
The issue about Masset and those things. These are matters he's been caught. And Napo is not the only element in the previous government who has been to the Iyoko and other people.
Just government after government. Iyoko has invited key figures, and I just cited Julius
Debra. NIB too.
He has been through the process for long.
Right.
NIB too does it. So, this is the point. I am saying that I would have loved Ken to be here, because in any case, it is not within the powers of this government to declare him a criminal. It has to lie in the mouth of a judge. A judge sitting in a court of competent jurisdiction to do so. So I would have loved he would even be here to face, but for the circumstances around the whole issue. So he doesn't trust the system. Do I trust the system? I don't trust the system myself. I'm not a suspect, but I don't trust the system. I don't think this system is a system that injects confidence in any Ghanaian. Right. So for me, I think he should do whatever he can. Okay. And since the process has been started...
Let me give it. Is if you don't trust the Ghana system, go to Uganda.
Oh, wow. So the thing is that I'm saying that the process has started in court. I'm sure you are still thinking about this Bobby White. He's still worrying you. He's worrying you. So,
since yesterday, we cannot access him.
I can see that your eyes are red. You've not slept. The thing is, the process has been initiated in court. Let it take it full hold. Why? Sedina was tried in absentia. And today, we are seeing the fruit of the extradition process submitted.
Give Raymond probably the last say on this.
No, I've not made
no. So I'll give you your say. So Raymond, monitoring this whole detention process with Ken, and how is the state getting involved to make sure that we get him in Ghana?
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, good morning to you. Good morning to my our cherished viewers and my senior colleague panelists on the platform today. I think that we need to desist from this argument that because Ken has investments in the US, and for this singular reason, he would not be extradited to Ghana to come and face our laws. We should desist from making those assertions, because it doesn't sit well, it doesn't sound well. The simple reason is that in 1931, okay, a treaty was reached between the US and the UK, which today applies to Ghana, an extradition treaty, which has since been ratified by our laws. And so a treaty is supposed to be respected by countries. So in 1931, a treaty was reached between the UK and the US. At the time, Ghana was a colony. But since independence, that treaty, an extradition treaty, continues to apply to us. We have accepted for that treaty to live on. It has been ratified by our laws. And so I don't know where this argument is stemming from, that because he has some investments in the US, Trump and all of those things, that the way Trump is conducting himself does not necessarily mean that it is right or it is lawful. That they have given justification, they have mounted justifications that the Venezuelan president, engaged in all kinds of crime in his own country, he told rights in his own country, is not a justification to go into the country and extradite the president. We must respect international laws. And so we cannot sit here. If there is justifiable reason for why Ken should come back to Ghana, should be extradited to Ghana to face charges, then the US law enforcement must assess the situation on the basis of law and do what is right. Because we extend the same courtesies to them. For example, in the matter of Abu Trika, the only reason why FBI is able to collaborate with our law enforcement authorities to arrest Abu Trika is because of a certain treaty that exists between the two countries.
You would admit that even though the treaty from 1931,
yes,
which by extension Ghana ratified and became party to, even though it exists, it's been one-sided. I don't know if anybody can name anyone who Ghana has been able to successfully extradite from the US to Ghana. Do you know any name?
So you see, that is the more reason why we need to desist from advancing this argument. That no one has been successfully extradited on the basis of this treaty does not mean that when we all have a need, we find a justification to extradite someone, we should not make the attempt.
Perhaps the reasons why they are saying it is not, it's maybe because of these reasons they are giving. They have been the reasons in the past making it difficult.
Look. It has never become a matter of national discourse, okay? A need for an entire nation to want to exert accountability on a public official. Today, Ofori-Atta is a person of interest, not just to government, but to the people of Ghana. Everyone is concerned about the processes. Everyone has a certain insatiable hunger, okay, to have Ken Ofori-Atta brought to Ghana to face the law. And so if we have a government that has assumed the posturing that it is bent on making sure that through these treaties, or this treaty that exists between Ghana and the US, Ken Ofori-Atta is brought to Ghana to come and face the law, we should not be saying, in the face of sin, that because he has investment in the US, he should not face the law. Why? Abu Trika doesn't have investments in Ghana. The money he's made, has he not made investments in Ghana? Why did we not say that because he has investments in Ghana, probably he has employed Ghanaians, we should not allow him to be extradited? Ken Ofori-Atta himself, does he not have investments in Ghana? Why is he running away? Ken Ofori-Atta has major businesses in Ghana, Data Bank, Enterprise, Transition. All of those are major businesses in Ghana. All of those businesses have employed people. So why is he running away from his businesses and his investments in Ghana and wanting to base in the US? And so please, let's desist from this argument. There's a treaty between the two countries. The government of Ghana is bent on exacting accountability. I made an idiomatic expression that the evil that men do lives on after them. But it befuddles me the kind of evil that Ken Ofori-Atta has perpetrated so much so that he is running away. He would rather incur humiliation in front of the entirety of the world, be arrested and detained in the US, than come back to Ghana and simply ask questions. In Article 19 of our Ghanaian Constitution, where criminal charges are brought against an individual, there is a strong presumption of innocence until guilt is proven. And fair trial is guaranteed under our Constitution. And so it is not to say that because he's a subject of interest, if he comes to Ghana, he's going to be condemned himself. It is not the case. There is a strong presumption of innocence. Just simply come back to Ghana and answer questions on your stewardship. You have managed our coffers. Even beyond the law itself, there's a moral obligation. If I have managed coffers or accounts on your behalf, it is only right that I give you an account of what I've used your monies to do. It is that simple. But instead of that, you would rather face humiliation and bastardize our international reputation. On the entirety of the African continent, Ghana is touted for its democracy. But today, Ken Ofori-Atta is painting a certain picture as though we are a banana republic. We have no respect for laws. We trample on the rights of people, which is not the case. Our constitution is fair. We have continued to abide by this constitution since 1992. And so, where is this cry? So obviously you can see that Ken Ofori-Atta is only bent on evading accountability. Then I was listening to a former lawmaker the other time, Mesa, Ejapa Mesa. Christ Lord, this is a former lawmaker asking us very boldly and confidently that we should cite a law that requires for a past public official to account for their stewardship in government. The preamble of our 1992 Constitution declares a certain commitment to the principles of accountability and probity. If you go to Article 37, it enjoins the state to build a social and political order that is anchored on the principles of accountability and probity. When you go to Chapter 24 of the Constitution, conflict of interest, it mentions it over there. If you go to Article 284, it mentions self-dealing and all of those. And so if you've had a certain finance minister who during his tenure can contract his own private business to act as financial advisor to government borrowings and all of that, or government international transactions, is that not conflict of interest? Is that not self-dealing? And so if today we are asking for accountability, we have minions of Ken Ofori-Atta asking us...
Now you should be coming back to my question.
We should cite a law...
So 2 minutes to answer my question.
We should cite a law... We should cite a law...
Easier than his frolicking.
This is not... The lawyer spoke about the same subject.
Yes.
And then he has come and he's speaking about the subject.
Yes.
So I will be given the chance.
Yes.
So I should also get a substitute to come and speak for me.
No. Everybody is speaking to it twice. So you would enjoy you also speak to
There's
it.
a bit of
Clarity, I know.
yes,
I'll come. Okay. So now back on the question I asked. What is government doing?
Well, like I have said, Ken Ofori-Atta has become a subject of national interest. Our only interest in this matter is to exact accountability. I have listened to the Attorney General on several occasions. He has given a certain guarantee that his office is doing all it can to make sure that Ken Ofori-Atta is extradited, and that if he is brought to Ghana to face the laws or to answer questions, there is a guarantee of fair hearing. There is no presumption of guilt before his innocence. No, that is not the case.
Fair hearing and fair processing.
Exactly. And so the government is in collaboration,
Especially the pre-trial press conferences by the
No. You see, you don't do that.
It's so
you don't do that. You see,
unwarranted.
these conversations can be had, but they are on the peripheries. This is not the thrust of the matter, because if you make this argument, you are insulting the sensibilities of individuals who had invested in government bond, the safest you can find anywhere, government bonds. But even them have had to suffer at the hands of Ken Ofori-Atta. People who at the time were 75 years, their maturities were deferred, even their principals, they were told that they were going to be paid in another 15 years, 100 years. There is no guarantee that... Hold on. There is no... Hold on. See, listen to me. There is no guarantee that an individual who is 75 years old would live on for another 15 years to reap the benefits of their investment. So if you make this argument, that is an insult to their sensibilities.
Raymond, now you are frolicking. So let's stay. You wanted to clarify something. I come to George and I come to then I'll go for my quick break. Just 1 minute to do your clarification.
I will do that. You know, Raymond. Raymond, when he began, he tried to weave the extradition process and connected it to the investment. Yes, but the conversation we've had on this table, we've not said anything about the extradition process. That it is not a good thing. What we are trying to the connection or the reason why we brought in the investment has to do with the deportation.
Right.
So we must be able to.
Yes, well, I think I drew that.
Exactly, draw the line. You get it. So nobody has said anything about the extradition. We are saying that as for the extradition process, it is not a given. It will take some time. So we should allow the process to run.
Okay.
Second
clarification, or that was the only clarification.
I mean that's what.
George, 2 minutes. Then I'll give Bernard. Then I'll take a quick break.
Also touching on the extradition, we have that agreement. It's not a given again that once you put in the extradition request, it's just going to be done. So the merits and demerits of the matter will be gone into before that decision comes, especially the United States, knowing their human rights records and all that, will look at it whether it's not a political witch hunt that is going on, especially when the embassy is here and they are seeing the way other officials are being treated. You get it? It's going to send the signals to them that no, it's not safe to. Right. That is where you can then tie in the investment angle, as Chairman said, that look, this person is a person of interest, yes, to Ghana, and of significance to the United States because of his investment and all that. And the way the government is treating people alleged to have misconducted themselves in office. If you don't take time, given his health records, anything can happen if we allow him to go. Okay? His safety and human rights will be factored into any ultimate decision unless government is able to give compelling reasons and justifications for his extradition based on flouting the laws of Ghana. You get it? You brought in DDEP and co. Yes, those are, as Chairman said, whose advice? It can be taken, okay? But it was a cabinet decision, okay? It was a cabinet decision. And so if cabinet has taken a decision, it's binding on everybody, okay? And that is what the government then said, this is the way we are going, okay? So that is what we need to look at. Last one, look. I agree with Lawyer Powers and Chairman Bernard that if all were right on his own volition, having served Mother Ghana for almost 8 years, he left office in February of 2024, it's right and proper to come and account for your stewardship. I know that is the position of the party. Anybody who has served must be, because President Akufo-Addo told us consistently, anybody is appointed, you will be accountable to the people ultimately. Okay? So go and conduct yourself with finesse. He said it. Anytime he swore people, he made it clear. Okay? That he was not going to cover anybody. He said it. And people said he was a clearing agent. No. He said, look, give me reasons why you think Powers should not be there and he has misconducted. And you don't bring evidence. Okay? He's a lawyer, a human rights lawyer and constitutional. He understands this thing. He wouldn't just throw people under the bus for the sake of expediency, party something. So let people have their day in court. Let Ken Ofori-Atta, if it could be, this thing, come and, account to the people. But if it's still on health grounds, let's allow him to have his treatment. Okay? If it is declared that he's fit, and he can come and answer questions, let that happen. No, Bernard is...
No, let me finish. Yeah. I'll give you your seconds later. Bernard, just 2 minutes, and I'll take my quick break.
First and foremost, I disagree that when Ken comes to Ghana, he will be mistreated. I totally disagree. I also disagree. I also disagree totally. Nobody will go and take machetes or take cudgels and meet Ken at the airport. we know how the law enforcement will just pick him up humbly and take him through due process. And I am certain, from the bottoms of my beliefs, that Ken will be given probably a treatment of welcome right at every facility in this country than anyone has ever been given. The suggestion that, look, Ken may come and prove...
But Bernard, please stay on.
Can I?
Bernard, please go on.
And that no. There's impression that you created, that why, because of the treatment he may be going through, he could die. Well, yeah, he could die anywhere too. He could die anywhere. Ban Radio left our shores and went out for medical treatment. He died. Will you say that it was because he did not get proper treatment there? So anybody can die. Yeah, anybody can die. Why? You will not die. Don't be pointing. Right. You will die. So let's not use death. Let's not use sicknesses. Why? AYISI. Sorry. You want to tell me that you are not sick? Everybody has one condition or the other. Yeah, when I got up this morning and I was suffering my ankle problem, I said, hey, what is this one too? Well, yesterday I went playing ball. And then I started, so I'm also sick. Exactly. Every one of us sitting here can point to one, and you don't know which sickness can actually take you away.
He knows kidney issues.
Why? Was it not the same kidney issues? Was it not the same kidney issues that we got to know about? That he went for operations and all that. And position as Minister of Finance was reserved. A budget was prepared whilst he was on bed, delivered by the majority leader. And he came to come and implement it. He was sick. And when his own party people said, no, given your conditions, just give in. He said, no. He cannot leave the country like that. He has to
abandon his children.
His children. He came.
He loved the nation
so much that today the nation also loves you and say, come and account.
Right.
Why are you running away if you are not a thief?
Okay.
So you see,
I'm counting.
Yes.
And then finally, before Raymond, you see, let it not be the case that political parties will defend individuals appointed to perform anything they do. I am not sure that any political party in this country would have committed you to serve in office and say, go and steal, go and do the unthinkable. It should never be. And individuals whose actions have brought their office into disrepute must be made to account so that it can even give a leave that, look, the political party itself would distance itself. So now that you went to Yoko to go and sit and wait for Untumi to be released, went there to go and sit for, Hanan and others, one will be asking, why are you not joining Arise Ghana to go and sit at the embassy so that Kent will be released from the United States?
Wonderful question. Raymond, 30 seconds. Yes. Let me take my quick break.
So you see,
this in detention like others were detained.
Raymond, go on.
So you see, this argument about health, I think it is the most convenient argument to advance to serve the purposes of evading the law and accountability. It is a small screen to evade our laws for the simple reason that AYISI has told us, have come to tell us that before his arrest and subsequent detention, he had been medically cleared. And so if there were any underlying health concerns, I am not sure AYISI would have arrested Ken Ofori-Atta as a charade to evade the laws, to evade accountability,
so I think
and to evade the Ghanaian people.
It's clear what you want to say. Viewers, we'll take a quick, gentlemen, viewers, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we would now go into the NPP. So it will be fair to listen more to George. It's being described as a fake, this version of NPP being fake. And so we would try and understand whether George belongs to the original NPP or the fake NPP. We'll find out from Bernard at a time when he was contesting. Did he contest the fake or the original NPP? We'll be right back after this break.
That agenda is brought to you by Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. And National Petroleum Authority, NPA, where customer care meets excellence.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
To do some work for you, would you do it?
Of course I'll do it for Ghana. And I've been doing that all the time.
Do you still consider yourself a member of the MPP?
Where the present MPP is not MPP, it's fake.
What?
Yeah. What I see now, it is not the MPP I used to know.
But the question still stands. Do you still consider yourself a member of the MPP?
Not the fake one.
So which one is the real one?
The real one is there. It's a virtual thing, and the members are there in the background.
You think that... I don't understand.
But look at how they elected their last flag bearer. You know, twist the arms of weak and...
This is for the 2024 election?
Yes. Twist people's arms, bribing delegates, and intimidating others to get a flag bearer. You know, this is the beginning of corruption, and this should not be allowed in any serious situation or any serious party. And there were issues. We lost the elections badly, and we did not deal with the issues that led to the losses. And then we still want to go in there, and I think it would be a train wreck if they elect the old flag bearer.
Well, the new Patriotic Party is governed by rules. It's a party governed by laws. And therefore, when a person makes a statement which constitutes a misconduct, the party has to follow due process. And that is what we have done as a party.
When you say due process, can you help us?
Well, it was on your station where Professor Frimpong-Boateng made a careless statement, which we were not expecting from a man of his stature to have made. To make that statement that the new Patriotic Party is a fake party, and therefore he's not a member of that fake party. Ideally, I should have written a letter to expel him from the party based on what he has said. Or if even he had an integrity, I would have expected that by this morning he would have written a letter to the party to have officially resigned from the party. But he has not done that. But as a party, as I indicated, which followed due process, we have to take him through the process, which is to refer to Article 444 of our Constitution, which the National Executive Committee.
So welcome back, and credits to CTTV for the audio insert that we used. So yes, George, your party in the next, I think, in 15 or 14 days, would be going for an election. And we are just being told that that party that is going to convert to vote for a leader is actually a fake version of itself. And this is being said by somebody who played a critical role in the 8 years, within the 8 years period of the Eswa Adodankwa Bawumia government. First, on a cynical note, do you belong to the fake or the original?
I belong to the original.
So you admit there's a fake?
I don't know about the fake. I don't know about the fake.
Once you belong to an original, that means there's an admission.
I'm telling you, the party is original. I don't know if there's a fake. We'll interrogate it, yes.
It looks like we were thinking getting close to your primaries, things would be becoming tighter. But it looks like it's even getting disintegrated the more. And every week, something is being thrown into your spokes to mess your tie up.
Yes, yes, and it's expected, Kojo. I would be in self-denial if I said, getting to this time, I was expecting everything to be smooth sailing, okay, getting into the election about 14, 15 days, as you indicated. I know it's still going to be turbulent, and on the heels of that, some of these things I expected, but Kojo, unfortunately, I never expected some of these to be coming from a well-respected, distinguished Ghanaian citizen. You know, he's the first, I think you alluded to that when you were making your intro about him earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, a respected Ghanaian heart surgeon and a distinguished citizen of Ghana. And I've heard another distinguished member of the party, Nana Kumia, say that who wouldn't want Professor Frimpong-Boateng in their fold. Okay, so it tells you his pedigree and stature. But to refer to the MPP as a fake party, I beg to, yes, I beg to differ. I will say that before. Refer to, and some of his arguments, Kojo, were that turning the thing upside down. He knows that the practice is from polling station to, you know, constituency, to polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional, and then national. I've had the privilege of contesting 3 times. I've been a polling station chairman twice, and I tried constituency secretary, it didn't work. I tried regional secretary twice, it didn't work. But I'm still a bona fide member of the party. And so he says, turning it, going for presidential.
That you are one goal out of the MP race.
You are sitting.
Don't mind that.
So let's go. So, you know, building the party, and he has a problem. He hasn't got a problem with the rest of the 4. And so those are the things. And there's been the argument that if people insult other people, leading members of the party, they go unscathed. Okay? But if you talk about a particular candidate, the executive come, you know, gun blazing. And that is worrying to some people because there's a lead person who is a chairman of the party in a region who has set up a television station and insulting day and night a particular candidate. And I stand to be corrected, could you? Whether he's been hauled before the disciplinary committee or any letter has been issued from the office of the general secretary saying he's going to be.
Maybe if you mention that particular person, I can confirm whether he has or not.
For me, I'm talking about Chairman Abronye.
Okay, I think there was some directive from the party somewhere last year.
And thereafter, what happened?
What that I can speak to it.
He's still going on with his TV, whatever, and insult spree. And based on that, I know the MPP I knew from 1992, okay, it's not that type of insulting MPP. No. We have credited ourselves of having the intellectuals. Even the NDC admits when it comes to lawyers and understanding of issues, it's the MPP. Okay? But today, they did not hear him. But today, some things happen and we use the term, this is why those things are happening. I've heard a senior party person, Honorable Adenimo, also lamenting about some of the issues. He was also making a case that we don't just throw Professor Frimpong-Boateng under the bus. You get it? What happened to due process as an MPP party filled with lawyers, distinguished lawyers? Okay, you just hear, and his argument too is that you hear about me saying something around 10 o'clock, then the next minute there's a letter saying you want to, and Kojo, I didn't understand I respect a letter to dismiss. I say, how?
He said he could have expelled him, but he has chosen to rather use this route, which means he's clothed with that authority per the Constitution.
Yeah, I don't know, but I stand to be corrected. Fortunately, we have a lawyer here who can also maybe help us. That the General Secretary willy-nilly on his own can expel somebody without recourse to the disciplinary structures and processes, NEC and disciplinary committee and others. I stand to be corrected anyway. It looks ultra-vires to me. You get it. He may be acting, unless there's a clause in the Constitution that I'm not privy to, which empowers him and emboldens him to do that. But I think the fake issue is not the best to describe the political party. You may have problems with individuals who are leading now. You disagree. But to say the party is fake, okay, because of the people who are leading and you disagree with them.
So like Bernard said, he said this version of
this
the party.
version.
So basically
So
basically like
executives are they not different from the party?
So George, you see, you made a very important point. And I'm staying more on this because you indicated that the MPP you knew was an MPP full of intellectualism, full of diplomatism, full of brain activity, not insults,
not brawls.
But now there is this new NPP. You've admitted that the whole chairman is a whole chairman is sitting on his own television network insulting
everybody.
And so he is saying that this version of this MPP he cannot identify with. This is a fake version of the original that he knew. Is it not legit to say that?
So then you give him the chance to appear before NEC or this my committee to make his case as to why he's saying, but to holistically say the MPP is fake, it's worrying because we've had a case. But it's MPP, okay? The fake version, so there's the party and the executives, are they the same? The executives are leading the party. You get it? You may disagree with the conduct of some individuals in the party, okay? General Secretary, National Chairman, National Organizer, you may disagree with them, but it doesn't make the MPP fake, okay? They've done some things, their conducts and especially relative to these presidential primaries. According to Professor Frimpong-Boateng, we should have studied. I'm not one of those who thinks Professor Michael Quay's report should be made public. I'm not one of those because the NDC had the Kwesi one, didn't make it public, and they got the dividends therefrom. You got it. So, but we needed to sit down and then interrogated a lot of things, okay, and then gone through the process up to, so that we can know the whys and the hows we were so badly defeated in the last election. You get it? Then we can put certain measures in place before we get to, but that notwithstanding, we've decided to go it this way. 15, 16 days, we'll make that decision. Then we will now come back from polling station. What is the motivation for people to go and contest for position? Okay, especially when the person he wants is out. You get it? You may not get certain caliber of people going to take positions because you already have the ultimate listening. So, Kojo, Professor Frimpong-Boateng is a well-respected individual. I would rather he had not made these commentaries. He is somebody. You see, Kojo, it pains me when I see top party people who have access to the powers that be within the party, okay? I have access to the General Secretary. I can pick a phone and call him, or I can walk to the office. The door will be open for me to meet him. And so if I sit here and denigrate him, I see something wrong, and I don't call him or go to him, I'm not being fair to him or the process. And so such privileged people as Professor Frimpong-Boateng, I know, I stand to be corrected, lawyer. Maybe he's bitter for something. You get it? Or pissed about something. You get it? But this is not the way to vent that. You get it? Because he's a privilege. He can call Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo now. He can call President Kufuor now. He can call Chairman Bute now. You get it? He can even call General Secretary that he describes some way. You get it? He can call him and they will listen to him. But to go on air and make this disparaging comments about the party is worrying. Last one, Kojo.
Okay.
We've seen one of the brilliant guys of MPP, Kakri Samoa. Then today he's NDC. He's one of the pains that I've had for MPP up to today, though I'm a proud member. Because that guy was one of those who inspired us to be in this communication for the party. Cross-current. Brilliant submission. Kakri Samoa. You remember him. You remember he and his brother, they're all assets to the NDC now. They were solid assets for the NDC. But because he made a certain comment, due process was followed anyway. But I felt pain that why will Kakra make that this person was going to be, and it's not right for the party. So Professor Frimpong-Boateng,
So I'll be coming to
don't
Raymond.
make those kind of comments.
I'll be coming to Raymond, but
let's be measured.
If my team can get me the video for Sammy Crab, Sammy Crab responded or gave his version on the no, not the fake, on Justin Frimpong-Boateng's commentary. So if you can have that video.
Anything that is contrary to our laws. As a general secretary, you are a man of authority and you stand as the party, quote and unquote. You do not pronounce. You do not pronounce the end, the outcome. You don't say that you're sending the guy to the National Disciplinary Committee or NEC for the man to be expelled. I think that is what is in the letter. If this letter I have here is actually coming from him, because this is because of social media, I can have all kinds of versions. But this letter states at the end that consequently the party has invoked relevant provisions of its constitution to commence the necessary processes to expel him from the party strictly in accordance with due process. Now it's really very funny that at the end of, it's contradictory, go and expel him. So it's kind of instructing the disciplinary committee to expel the gentleman. Meanwhile, when you read the functions of a disciplinary committee, it talks about the fact that they shall, 1, investigate complaints concerning the misconduct of a member. 2, make a full, faithful, and impartial inquiry into any complaint referred to it. 3, report in writing the results of the inquiry and the reasons leading to the conclusions reached. Meanwhile, the General Secretary has already reached the conclusion. The man must be expelled. He's found him guilty before he even has a chance to be processed through the internal justice procedural system. This validates.
Okay, Raymond, so we hear the NDC keep saying that MPP is losing the intellectuals. We hear it a lot. Is this an example of what you mean when you say the MPP are losing the intellectuals? So clearly, the General Secretary has even expelled a person even before the person is heard.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Oh, but I mean, from what he said if he had his way, he would have expelled him, but he's standing to this very process for them to do the process. So technically, and that's what yes, and that's what Sammy Crab just indicated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So you see, this is a long-held position of the NDC, and the recent accession, or should I say assessment, by Frimpong-Boateng corroborates the position we have held since. If you've known Professor Frimpong-Boateng, then you'd know that he's an astute individual, personality, and he has always been candid in his dealing. He has always had the candor to speak.
All of a sudden, you are marrying Frimpong.
No. You see,
there'll be an annotation.
You see,
you also admire him.
You see,
go on.
You see,
everyone, go on.
You see, it is not in my.
Let me lose you. Go on.
It is not in my place, or it is not within my purview to come and paint a certain picture about Professor Frimpong-Boateng that is not existent. I think that all of us around this table can come to that evidential conclusion that indeed Professor Frimpong-Boateng is an astute individual. We have seen his exploits. And you see, when MPP was in office, he was Minister for Environment. Even so, despite the fact that he was actively in government, playing frontline roles, you saw how candid and the temerity he had to speak truth to power, to his own government, to his own president, even while serving as Minister of Environment. And so it is not in my place to come and paint a certain non-existent picture, right? And I've listened to my senior brother, George, while he was making a submission, that even we NDC would attest that they NPP have always had the human resources, people with expertise, people with acumen, people with a wherewithal. That is not a lie, and I would not contest this fact. But it also fits into the argument of Professor Frimpong-Boateng that today, these people are missing in the front lines of the NPP. That was the caliber of people the NPP once had. But it is not the case or the reality today. If you take a cursory look at the front lines of the people in the NPP and what the order of the day is today, you will see a clear lack of morals. Moral bankruptcy, intellectual bankruptcy, showboatism, arm twisting, and self-dealing. That has become the order of the day in the NPP today. And you see, the NPP must not always be in a quick haste to be averse to accountability and introspection. If he has said this, you pause, you make an introspection, see where you have gone wrong, and try to remedy the situation. You do not come gun blazing, attacking him, and wanting to expel him. This vilification in the NPP must stop. But you see, for us in government, we are very focused. We have come to a certain determination that the NPP is merely nuisance to the national discourse. They have become a distraction to national development and would not be swayed by them. We are focused on delivering on the numerous promises that we have made to the people of Ghana. They have given us a certain mandate, and our only concern, our only focus is to make sure that the mandates they have given us, we make or render a very good account of ourselves. And so you'd see that in the past 1 year, our GDP has grown by 6.1%. Non-oil GDP has grown by 5.4%.
I like what you are doing.
Yes. Since
yeah, government spokesperson, I understand.
Yes, they must know. Since 1999, unprecedented, 5.4%. The CD appreciated by the dollar by 40%. Today, please don't interject. Today, the facts are there to show. When it comes to primary balance, and an indicator that shows whether or not government is spending within its means. So this is a measure of government expenditure as opposed to government revenue minus debt servicing. Today, it stands at 1.9% of a surplus. So you see that.
10 seconds.
So you see, so you can see clearly. You can see clearly that the NDC government is focused. We are delivering on the promises. But what befuddles my mind, what befuddles me even more, is the fact that how does a political party manage to be even more incompetent in opposition than they were in government?
Okay.
You see, because it's our responsibility. It is to hold the feet of government to the fire of accountability, which clearly, so far, they have failed to do in opposition. It has to take we in government to remind them of their singular job in opposition.
Right.
So they are doing a very poor job. If the old man has said that their party is a fake one, they should stop, pause, take an introspection, try to remedy the situation,
okay. So
rebuild.
I'm asking you, thank you. So, in fact, Raymond, I have a message for you from Asamoah from Time constituency. He says that if you think Ijapa-Mensah's claim that there is no law that compels Ofori-Atta to give account, please produce the law. So that's the claim.
To be a law. Accountability is an intrinsic thing.
The entire constitution is built on the principles of accountability and probity.
This goes on to George. George, this one, please tell George, my Dikanfo brother, that we have long gone past the argument about Ofori-Atta's fitness. He's just refusing to come. It's one of my. This person says, "What is wrong with Dr. Frimpong-Boateng's statement? Hard truth." And so, as democratic as MPP claims to be, they must accept this assertion and investigate to find out what is wrong. This is Berima Kofi Owusu-Ohimeng. I'll read probably 2 more, then I can move on. This one says, Professor Frimpong's Galamsey investigations were false during the MPP reign, which is coming out as the truth. So if it comes out now to say the MPP is now fake, the party should treat it seriously and act in good faith, but not to sack him. So this is from Nene. And then let me read the last one. Okay, so this one is talking about our transport system. So probably when I come back, we'll look into this. He's giving us some information. This is from Seth Inla. So Seth, probably briefly onto this Frimpong.
Give him time. He's a lawyer.
Frimpong. This one is your house matter.
It's your house matter. Ask me.
So let me ask a question. Then maybe you just... there's a school of thought that says that this is more of an issue of give the dog a bad name so you can hang it. Why? The professor said a lot of things, and eventually, based on all those things that he said, he resolved that if these are the things that happens now or is happening now, then this is a fake version. The original version now is just a virtual version which nobody can see. It seems MPP as a party has moved away from all the things that he said to be the issues and are holding on to the terminology fake version to hang him.
I think I was even, if you check my note, you notice that I've even indicated that. Why is it that the party general secretary...
When it is confidential.
Bernard, I can give it to you to look at it.
Whether it's written or not, I don't know. Okay. Assuming that is true.
I think my brother is still thinking about the Uganda issue. So Kojo, I'm wondering why the MPP would leave all the issues that the old and good Prof touched on and only settled on the label. Fake.
Damaging the brand.
The thing is that already the actions of the MPP in opposition
is damaging the brand.
Yes, you have even damaged your brand. MPP is no longer appealing to even their cross-section of people because of the way they are treating a lot of people. In fact, the Prof touched on even the way they are elevating the former vice president with regard to this campaign, their internal campaign.
Which I think George also mentioned.
Yes, over the other candidates. And I have had issues with that. It appears the whole system is rooting for Dr. Bawumia, which should not be the case because this is a party, this is an internal process. So you must make the system open, transparent. Let it be a competition. It must be a competitive one, not one where others are disadvantaged only to the benefit of one person. He touched on that. And these are matters I was thinking the party would react to. But they only went for the fake one. And I'm surprised. And you see, there are issues in the MPP. But it appears the party is unwilling and ready to listen. They do not want to listen to the real core issues, the issues bothering their own members. But they want to listen to the top brass, those who are already at the helm of affairs, those who benefited from the whole system. They don't want to listen to those who didn't benefit, for which reason they failed to show up at the polling centers to vote. And for which reason Ghanaians did not benefit from the promises they made. The 1D1F, they promised every district in this country will be getting a factory. What happened to it? I supported the idea. Why? Because I felt at one point then we're going to have one district in every district, which would bring forth more companies and people will get jobs. They ended up doing politics with the whole thing. No, what you did. I think the last count, you were quoting 56, 58.
I mean, George would admit that if they did, his candidate would not be advocating jobs.
In fact, what they told us they were going to create factories. So I was expecting from the ground up, but they ended up supporting people. People who had already established their factories. they decided to give them soft loan or support. No, I think the thing is that when you started, when you communicated, the message communicated to Ghanaians was not to do this. Do you understand? Which was why I was even talking about the 24-hour economy, the 133 ratio.
But you know something I've noticed about our politicians? And I'll say we because we are Ghanaians. We all agree
also,
to
we
it.
are part of the system.
Yes. We the people love to hear the things they say on the platforms. But when they go into their policy documents, what they put is totally different. So then now when you are holding them accountable,
they were all in sync. You know, we spoke about that one.
I'm not even speaking just MPP.
And then, you know, vehicle assemblage plants and those things.
We all heard what was said about
supporting
24-hour economy.
Yes.
Now when you print the policy document, what is in the document and what was said on campaign platforms.
Exactly.
Yes, but Powers, please end in 30 seconds, so I'll go to.
Okay, so the thing is that I think the General Secretary must conduct himself as an officer well. He should desist from bantering the Prof because it doesn't help the party. Because when you, in fact, Kojo, I'm even informed that the way the statement he issued, he didn't consult the appropriate channels.
Again, the part that is funny is that who is saying that how NDC, the Attorney General, is treating Ken. If he comes, he won't get a fair trial. It's the same person who is not even giving a fair
No, you see, and it makes sense. I think, it makes sense because the thing is that your party must not be pontificating in opposition because some of the things that you are blaming the NDC for now, currently, you did that when you were in power. We saw what the MPP did to some then opposition NDC members who were then in government. We saw what you did to them. So if they are doing the same to you, I think you should rather keep quiet and allow some other Ghanaians to complain, not you.
Anyway,
I'm not a Ghanaian lawyer.
You are a Ghanaian, but you supported the system.
So, Bernard, I know you like my partner have said, you are in Uganda at this moment, but let's talk about Ghana.
Well,
which version of the MPP got you disqualified? Is it the fake or the original?
The fake one.
Okay.
No, the fake one. The fake one.
Right. We were not involved in your disqualification.
Well, President Nana Akufo-Addo appointed Jean Mensah against all odds.
Obviously.
And Jean Mensah, who will be making mistakes, errors, would decide that errors on my form, not by me, by other persons who completed their portions, would be the reason for which I should not be allowed to contest. So if he decides to endorse my form, and I give the form to him to fill in quadruplicate, first one, second one, third one, he makes an error. And that is the copy you picked. Then you tend to say that his voter ID number was not properly written. He wrote his number. All you needed to do was
MPP.
That's the fake one. That's the fake one.
Jane is not MPP.
It's okay. Frimpong, the professor.
To be honest with you, I, in my life, has been shocked that Frimpong-Boateng is of MPP tradition. Because as we were in school, and Frimpong-Boateng was always speaking on television, he espoused everything Kwame. And you could see his commitment. And when he returned to Ghana, after becoming so renowned in Germany, that people wanted to keep him there because he was the first black to perform heart operations, to cut open a human being and treat people. And students in Germany were learning under him. It was one of the things that many would not do. He chose to come to Ghana to set up the Ghana Heart Foundation and the Cardiothoracic Center, and managed it. That today there are many other heart surgeons.
I shouldn't be surprised. MPP is more policy implementation. We do the social programs for the people. So it's better to align
You are of
with
the
us.
fake version. Keep quiet. Right. So I saw the vision of Kwame Nkrumah in him. Then somehow, in 2007, I saw him parading to contest for. I've been let down. All along, I have been one of us. They said, Bernard, this is where I want to be.
But Akufo-Addo also, you should have been thinking.
You are reminding us that he has been of Nkrumah's origin. So, for me, that was my shock. And like Prince Kofi Amwabeng told Prof, now look, you are a fine man. Where you are trekking to is not a good... No, I'm serious.
Yes,
right?
I disagree with...
I mentioned this aspect from Prince.
I disagree with Captain.
Yeah. So he said, Prof, very fine man, I can support you. And I can tell you this, Prince may not know that I know this, that of every politician that you can know, it is only Frimpong-Boateng Prince supported. Said, because me, I know you are a good man, you have good intentions, you become a good president. But look, where you are going, it will not do. Right? Put that aside. Then he joins the MPP, became the chair of the interministerial committee, and that is where his problem started. Because, as he always would do, he would speak the truth. So he wrote his report, and the report implicated untouchables. And then the fight started. So the fake version that he's talking about is the one that is not willing to interrogate the issues before them. And I say this, listening to Justin Kodua, as soon as Frimpong-Boateng finished speaking on City, or is it Channel 1, as soon as he finished speaking, a statement was issued. I am wondering how the General Secretary could rally the rest of even the national executives to have a thorough discussion of that which was said, and then the statement was issued. No due process, disregard of any process.
It would have been done on WhatsApp. Maybe they're on the group WhatsApp.
Well, Chairman, is it Bote? Bote has come out to say he doesn't even know about it. So if the acting chairman of the party is unaware, who else chaired that meeting?
Probably they formed the quorum. When they
so who else chaired the meeting? And who else chaired the meeting?
It could be him, himself.
No, you cannot.
GFK.
You cannot.
When the chairman is there.
When the chairman is around. Not even the vice chaired the meeting. Why are we usurping people's powers and making other people look too important when they don't deserve to be there?
Right.
Now, let me rush on this. You remember PC Ofori? PC Apia Ofori?
Yes.
Is it Asekuma or Adobin Brakwa, the MP? Was an MPP MP who will openly disagree with policies of his government, including when they were selling Ghana Telecom. He stood up and came out open that members of parliament were giving $5,000 each. And he was not giving because they know his stance. He fought and fought and fought, and when the thing was brought to parliament, and I like him for that, they said, look, we have a whip system. When the thing was brought, the whip got up and said, every MPP member must vote for it. So I disagree, but if I have to respect the party, I have to go by the whip. So I did. Now you remember Abraham Osei Edu, who was majority leader and MP for Tema, I think Tema West, who came out at the time Kufuor had appointed MCE for Tema and said openly that the MCE and the Tema Metropolitan Assembly were the most corrupt in this country. Majority leader. The party did not treat them the way we are seeing. They rather drew them closer to find out why you are saying A, B, C, D. Why is it that today, when there is dissent, you say cut off the person's head? So people like Richard Anani will not talk. People like Kojo Mpianim will not talk. People like now a committee member of the Presidential Advisory Group, Kwame Mpianim, all of them are moving away. And now you have taken this into Frimpong-Boateng. You will think Frimpong-Boateng is an MPP. He's bigger than MPP. And so possibly you have touched one of the untouchables. You will deal with it at the narrow MPP level, but the ramifications are higher. Even international view of what the MPP has become will suffer a dent. But hey, why do I want the MPP to even be strong? Continue on that path.
Thank you. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you to my viewers. I wanted us to discuss the transport, but I have less than 2 minutes on my... if I say you should do 1 minute, you do more than... from what you have shown me this morning, I will not go, but thank you very much. Thank you, Bernard.
It didn't make me talk about my connected fellows, greeting them.
Okay, well, if anyone also want to greet.
On a more serious note, I think it's fair to wish the MPP an incident-free National Delegates Conference. Is it going to be at one place or at the regional?
Constituency level.
And so I just pray that we don't witness what was witnessed in the last contest, where I'll bring you showdown, where people's agents were beaten and almost went blind in some other constituencies and in some regions. Our democracy must grow beyond the violence.
Right.
And I'm hoping that in this contest, MPP will clean themselves of what we witnessed in the past, so that no other person's candidate, agent, or whatever is stopped from coming to any polling station.
And
let the people determine their fate. And at the end of the day,
next week's
democracy will win.
Next week's program would be a prelude to it, so we'll look into it and do some bit of...
You are assuming that I'll be here next week?
That's why I allowed you, because I know you'll not be here. The rest, I've not allowed them. Right, so my appreciation to Bernard MORNAH for your presence and contribution this morning.
Going to Uganda?
I don't know.
I've been contemplating, but we cannot locate Bobby Wine. Even when I took a step out, I tried to reach out.
Austin KWABENA, BRAKO-POWERS, private legal practitioner. Thank you, Austin. We were earlier joined by THEOPHILUS, it's what, DZIMEGA, and then later replaced by Raymond Edem Tamaklo. Thank you also. And then to my immediate left is George Kwejo AYISI, also a member of the NPP communication team. Thank you, viewers. Thank you to my technical team. And as I said earlier, we are back. Stay with us every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. And let's digest issues. Let's have the conversation continuing on our WhatsApp platforms and on our social media handles. If I was unable to read your comments, please, it's not deliberate. We would make time to do it next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and be peaceful.